I can't even, guys. I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm jumping from one readathon to another, and I'm just trying to be here and to be present in this moment. This is my little familiar. Seems appropriate since we're gonna talk about the Newts readathon that I have the closest thing to a familiar that I've got. This is Soren. He's about as dopey as I am. He can't walk straight and he loves snuggles. If you were here in June, you know that I participated in the Owls Readathon, which is part of the Magical Readathon. It was a fantastic month where you read based on your kind of Hogwarts aspirations. Like, what would you want to be if you lived in the Harry Potter wizarding world? And go try to achieve that. I actually managed to do really well at the Owls, and that surprised me. And I was able to pull in just by the skin of my teeth to qualify to attempt the 2 careers that I think I would want if I lived in the Hogwarts universe. So we're going to attempt that. There were some other things that I could attempt to try, but we're gonna focus first on Librarian, and then we're gonna see if I can manage to pull out Herbologist. So let's go ahead and go through the prompts, I guess. The way that the readathon is structured, you have to fulfill certain requirements so that you can kind of pursue the career you want. In this case, I happen to have had to write them all down because there were quite a bit. You get scored, you get an A if you complete 1 prompt in the subject, an E if you complete 2 prompts, and an O if you complete 3. It was daunting to try to pick these out, like super daunting, and I have thus far, you can't really see on my phone, never mind, but I have only fulfilled, like fully on my spreadsheet, the prompts to become a librarian. I figured I would do that and then I would try for Herbologist on top of it. If I were to successfully complete both, I would have read 13 books this month, which is a lot. That's a lot of books. So the first subject that I have to complete if I'm going to be a librarian in the Harry Potter universe is the subject of ancient runes. I need to get an O, which means I need to complete all 3 prompts. They're read a book recommended by a friend, read a book written in past tense, and then read a book that's been on your TBR for ages. This one I was able to kind of bang out pretty fast when I was coming up with my my readathon TBR. The first one was recommended to me by Bookish Die, and that's Dealing with Dragons. I don't have a copy of that one yet because she got me that suggestion today, so I have to go to the library eventually soon. The second book I also can't show you, that is The Orphan of Raspy, and that is the newest Penric novella. I'm super excited for that and actually was planning to read it on my way to Dublin for Worldcon, so that's like perfect. And then the third, see if I've got it here, I know I do, is BreeReadsBooks by Lois McBasker-Bujold. This is the one that's been on my shelf forever. Actually, like, Bane sent me a bunch of Bujold like a couple of years back, so we're gonna finally get this one out of the way. It was one of my options for the readathon last month, and I figured better go for it. The second subject I'll have to sit is History of Magic, and I have to complete an E. That means I have to complete 2 of the 3 challenges. The first one is to read a fantasy, and the second is to read a book that includes a map. So this was surprisingly difficult. It was not hard to find a fantasy book on my shelves. That was not hard. Not at all. For that, I'm going to be reading Half Witch. I'm actually partly through this because I've kind of meandered the first, 20 or so pages. And then the hardest one out of this entire TBR to find was a book with a map in it. In fact, that is why like all of my shelves are actually like organized and pretty right now because I had to literally open up all of my TBR books to find one. I was surprised by how few books with maps I actually had. I was able to finally, like literally on the last shelf of books I was reorganizing, find a map in Amberlow. This is by Lara Elena Donnelly and has been on my TBR forever, so it saved my butt. It's going on the TBR. I would have thought that there were more like maps in my life. The last subject I have to sit in order to successfully become a librarian is DADA, or Defense Against the Dark Arts. I have to complete this at an E level, which again means 2 of the 3 prompts. And the A level book is to read a book that is black under the jacket, and then to pick the first book that you remembered from your TBR. Hello, welcome to my TBR room. Technically this is an office, but it's basically my TBR room. I picked The Wren Hunt, which is a book that is black under the jacket. This one has been on my side table for a while because it was on my long-term like TBR list, and I figured if I moved it into my bedroom I would read it faster, and that has not proven to be the case. She says, shocking no one, there's just like a 3-foot high stack of books next to my bed because I'm a grown-up. And then, I don't know, I'm gonna close my eyes. I literally haven't picked out a book for the first book that I remember off of my TBR, and I'm trying not to look in the viewfinder because I have so many books on my TBR, I literally can't remember all of them. And I think we're gonna go with Glass Town Game. It's probably because that was the one that surprised me most that it didn't have a map. So it's sticking out in my mind. It's convenient that I was able to look through each and every one of my books before doing this, so yeah. We're gonna do Glass Town Game by Kat Valente. This was on one of my prior TBRs. This has been on a couple of TBRs for the month before, and I have not read them. I adult really well. I am going to be doing the Dewey's 24-hour readathon this Friday, which is super exciting. I've already told my friends and my partner, like, no one is to talk to me from 8 p.m. on Friday to 8 p.m. on Saturday. I like you. I know you want to have fun and do fun things with me. I would like you all to be quiet. So hopefully they will respect that, though we'll see. Are you helping? Are you helping? You don't feel like you're helping. You feel like you're just getting underfoot. If I can manage to make it through all of those, I don't know that I will. I'm gonna have to go ahead and try for Herbologist. I figure it is better to try than to have not tried at all. But I'm gonna focus on doing the Librarian first, because otherwise, knowing me, I'm so scatterbrained, I would like get one of each subject done and then not complete any of the tasks. So Herbology has 3 prompts that I would have to complete, which is to read an audiobook, to read a book between 350 and 390 pages, and to read a book with a flower on the cover. I would also have to sit Potions, which requires 2 prompts to read your friend's favorite book, and then to read a book with a cover in your house color. And then an A in Care of Magical Creatures, which is like the friendliest, most starter prompt out of all of these, which is just to read a book where the title starts with an A. Are you gonna help me pick it out if it comes to that? We'll see how much reading I get done. I'm like super nervous because I know that my August is booked. I have Worldcon coming up. The week after that is my brother's 30th birthday, which means I'm gonna go all the way up to my parents' place. And then the week after that, I have to go to Chicago for an organization that I volunteer with. We're gonna see. It could very easily turn into just a hot mess of a month. But I'm gonna give it my all and look forward to hearing from you soon. I'm gonna be doing a video just in the next like week or so about my schedule for Worldcon, because I am on a couple of panels. I'm going to talk about a couple of different books that I've read in the last couple months, including Gideon the Ninth. And then, you know, just generally putz about here. It's kind of what I do. I hope you guys are all having a fantastic reading week. I wish you luck if you are doing the magical readathon and sitting your newts. If you are, link it down below so that I can see your TBR. we'll commiserate over how much there is to do to be successful in like any of these careers. If you like hanging out with me and you want to do some more, you can go ahead and click the subscribe button. You can also go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I expect it'll be a fun month to do that because, again, Worldcon, it's in Ireland. I'm going with Rachel from Colonnati. We're gonna have a blast. We're rooming with like Rhea and Claire and like Andrea. It's gonna be a booktube love fest and I'm so here for it. You can also support the channel by going over to my Patreon and becoming a patron. You get to do things like help me pick out my TBR, though not this month because giant Readathon TBR, and get access to videos early. I hope you guys are doing really well. I'm gonna go drown in my books because this is only mildly overwhelming. Bye.